Good morning, guys. Having my coffee here. Sorry about the lipstick mark. Okay, we're studying through the Bible verse by verse, but we're kind of going my method, so it's not always going to be, some days I'll be in Genesis, some days I'll be in Ephesians. So I hope you enjoy these. But let's go on to Genesis 1:9. Chapter 1, verse 9. And God called the day sorry, and God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. Okay, so God gave names to the earth and to the seas. Now you might find this interesting, but in heaven there is no more sea. Now it was a source of fear for some of the people years ago, the sea. They didn't really know what it all about it. I know on maps and stuff, when they got to the edge, they'd say something like, dragons be beyond this, so, like the map makers and stuff. But we aren't going to really understand heaven, because I'm also doing a study, if you've been watching or listening, on Revelation 22, because I like read my Bible forward, backwards, and then in the middle. It's just how I do it. But anyway, in heaven there'll be no sea. And it's a little bit like a baby inside a womb. He doesn't really understand what heaven is going to, or like heaven. He doesn't understand what life is going to be like, because all he is in the womb. But when he gets out, it's like this whole great big world. And that's how it is going to be in heaven. We have lots of questions and things, but it's going to be like mind blowing. I mean, Jesus has been preparing our home for us, and it's just going to be so spectacular. And it's going to be hard for us to fathom all that's going to happen, because we've never been to heaven, and God is very creative, and we don't know what he's planned. I mean, he gives us little glimpse, but we don't really know. So there will be no more sea, but it's probably something much better. So that's Genesis 1:10. Now let's start going a little bit further. Now I want to mention this too, that the world starts in a garden and ends in a garden, because in heaven it's going to be like paradise. It's going to be beautiful. There'll be all kinds of flowers and things. Okay, so 11. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. So God created the world in a sense so that everything is kind of self-contained, so it can run itself. I do not believe in evolution at all. I believe that it's not biblical. I believe that God created everything to kind of roll on its own. So he made a chicken with the egg inside. He made trees with seeds so they can keep growing. And then he gave man dominion to take care and cultivate and explore it, just like he made this world, and he put treasure in it. When he made the world, he talks about the Garden of Eden. There was already gold. There was precious stones. So these things were already in the earth for us to enjoy. I mean, when Adam was born, he wasn't born a newborn baby. He was a man. So God created this world so it could self-contain itself, and so that we could explore it and dig out the treasure, and maybe everything about this world. It's an exciting life. Maybe you're interested in like I love crochet. So God created sheep so I could learn, so I could, you can get a sheep and you can get yarn and you can get the different colors, and then you can explore the patterns. And I mean, everything that he made is rich with learning. One of my favorite people to study is George Washington Carver. He kept praying about things, and the Lord brought him down to like a peanut, and God showed him all kinds of uses for the peanut. And that's, our lives should be exciting. Everything about us we can look and explore. One of the things that Clay and I love to do is like science. Like right now we're doing bees, and we love the science behind it, and to learn about what they do and how they habitat. And we realize that, you're only just scratching the surface of everything. I mean, we only use, I think they say, like 1/10 of our brain or anything. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when we use all of our facilities? Okay, let's see. Also, the things that God created. I wrote down here all because of a blade of grass. Like God made the grass. Like there's food supplies for everybody. You know, in the beginning they ate vegetation. They did not eat meat. Later on, God told them to eat meat, and then later on in the Bible it says in the last days they will forbid people to eat meat. Um, but anyway, like the fruit, like I love oranges and pineapples and all those kinds of fruit, and it's interesting because in the Bible, it talks about the tree of life making fruit every month, which is interesting too, and maybe God wrote it for our capacity because he lives outside of time, but I thought this was interesting because it said it produced a different kind of fruit each month. Now, there's no time in heaven, but maybe that was the way to explain so we could see that it was going to be abundant, that there was going to be all kinds of fruits and stuff. So I'm not sure how that all works out, but it's interesting when you see things like that. Um, so let's see, I'm looking at my notes. Everything was made after its kind. So you can't get a cat out of a dog. But you can take like the base animals and they can turn, like maybe I can take my cat and breed it with another cat and get a different kind of cat, or my guinea pig and breed it with another kind of guinea pig and get another guinea pig, but you can't get a cat out of a guinea pig, you know. So it's just God set up the world system in that. Um, let's see. Oh, I wrote down even apricots. You know, apricots make skin products, and some of these things that we have that God gives us the resources, they can make medicine and all kinds of things. And He gave us this world so we could explore it and enjoy it and have fun digging out the gold, you know, and different things like that. We can literally meditate on God's word day and night just by looking at His creation. I mean, it talks about God being the creator. We could look around and just see that there's a God. So you could be drinking your coffee and be praising God for the coffee bean and things like that. And you eating a fruit, and you can think about, oh, I'm the apple of God's eye, or thanks for the fruit of the Spirit. And you could take just one verse, like Jesus wept. You know, it's one of the smallest verses in the Bible. And everything grows and has to be cultivated. Your hair grows, you might have to cut it, or like I have guinea pig, I have a Peruvian guinea pig that maybe if his hair gets too long, I might have to cut his hair. The grass has to be mowed. God wanted us to take care of it. Okay, so like, and in Revelations, you know, what are we going to do in heaven? We're going to be serving God. That's what it says. And it's going to be an exciting life. It's not going to be, oh, boring up there playing harps. We're going to be serving God in whatever capacity He has us do. I know we're going to be ruling and that with Him. And God gives us a vision. God wants us to work. A person without a vision will perish. So even if you're not working right now, you know, get some hobbies. A lot of times your hobbies can turn into a job, and then you get paid for what you love. So I always say I have 100 hobbies. I've been through some hard times in my life, and my hobbies have really helped me to get through at times. Okay. Okay, so I want to encourage you to, you know, expand yourself and, you know, just look at the creation and, you know, and pray and ask God what He wants you to do. Okay, verse 12. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself after his kind, and God saw that it was good. It's a good thing. In the evening and the morning were the third day. That's 13. Now 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. So the lights are made for signs, just like when Jesus was born, there was a star. Seasons, so we know the seasons in life. It even helps us to know, like right now, I believe that we're in the last days, and we can look around and see all the signs that Jesus is coming soon. Like Israel became a nation in 1948. Talks about this in Matthew 24. It says the people that see that happen, that they will not pass away until Jesus comes back. Okay, so they're made for days and years. Caesar the cat is over there bothering my cat. He's a tomcat. Runs around this whole neighborhood. Caesar. She won't really let him get near her. Okay, verse 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, and give light upon the earth, and it was so. Okay, so the lights are to light the earth, gives us some light. You ever notice that when the moon is out, everybody seems to wake up in the middle of the night? I mean, that it's just, these things help the tide and the ocean and different things. Okay, and so he wanted to light the earth. And God, okay, verse 16, and God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and he made the stars also. So he made all those beautiful things. You ever go camping and look up at the stars? And God set them. He set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. However he set them, I'm not sure. Verse 18, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness, and God saw that it was good. So he made it to divide and rule. Verse 19, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Okay, now we're on verse 20. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heaven. So those things were abundant, and God made them. It's interesting. I wonder how all that transpired on the flood, like the sea creatures and stuff. I'm not sure. Okay. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind, and God saw that it was good. Now remember, a lot of these creatures are extinct now. There's like the dinosaurs and all that thing. It talks in Job about a tail being like a cedar. So there are explanations for a lot of the questions you have. You just have to pray and ask God and search the scriptures, But the dinosaurs, God may have used them in the beginning to help feed whole tribes. I don't know. Okay, Genesis 1:22, and God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And God blessed them. God gave them a blessing. Verse 23, and the evening and the morning were the fifth day. So my cat's not going to let him get near her. You can probably hear the cat over there. Okay, verse 24, and God said, let the earth bring forth a living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind, and it was so. So everything had to come after his kind, even the cats after their kind. I can't show you the way that the camera is, but the tomcat over there is like looking at the female, but she won't let him near her. So he's been following the cats around the yard, but they don't like him. So sometimes he comes over and sits and behaves, but they let him know that you gotta go. Okay, and God said, and it was so. So everything God said, it was so. So if you hear me talking about the cats, I brought that up because they're over there meowing and stuff. Okay. Actually, my sister sent me a picture today. She had cats looking in her window in her area. She lives in the country too. She said 6 cats came over here and they're looking in the window. And she doesn't own a cat, but she's got this, lots of strays. A lot of the cats in this area, I think, too, belong to other people. They're just roaming the neighborhood. Some of them. It's hard, but when they're big and fat, you kind of wonder, right? Like Caesar's big and fat. Okay. Verse 25, and God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and God saw that it was good. So it was a good thing, and God made everything after their kind. You can't get things not after their kind. And God saw that it was good. Okay, we're in verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image. Our Father, Son, Holy Spirit made the earth. Right there's the Trinity. After our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God wanted us to take care of the beautiful world he made for us. And we are made in God's image. Okay. Verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. That's verse 27. Verse 28. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. Now right there, in verse 28, some people believe in the gap theory that there was a world here before, which Satan ruled, and then God recreated the world. The attitude is that the world was so beautiful, like a fine car, that God didn't just destroy it, but he redid it, okay? And subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. If you're interested in the gap theory, just look it up and study that out. I really just don't know what to think about all that. I just don't know. The Bible is a book about redemption, about our lives. So there's some questions, like it even says about Jesus. If everything were written about him, the books couldn't even contain it. So there's lots of things we will not know. God blessed mankind. He told them to replenish the earth and have dominion. Verse 29. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. So in the beginning, they ate vegetation. Okay, let's see. We're almost at the end of this chapter. The sun is beating down on me. If you see that nice sunshine. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And verse 31, and God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Everything God created was very good. So we have just finished Genesis 1. I hope you enjoyed this. I want to give you some resources to check out. As always, you might enjoy listening to Lester Summerall. He has all kinds of good material. I think he might go through some of the books of the Bible. And there's also Derek Prince. They have some good, solid teaching that would help you to grow in your life. And I just want to encourage you to check them out. Okay, guys, so remember, big or small, you too can be a backyard farm. God bless.